So Justin Trudeau has announced a GST cut for 2 months and a $250 check for about 19 million Canadians who earn $150,000 or less annually. Let's watch the video together and we'll come back to give a reaction about it.
You mentioned you're taking taxes off of things like video games and video game consoles. How does that help people who are struggling, who likely can't afford those or are unlikely to buy them anyways?
One of the things that we've focused on very much over the past years has been targeted relief for those who most need it. Seniors over 75 who had been facing a rise in costs or in medical bills, we increased OAS for them. We know families who don't have dental insurance, couldn't afford dental care, needed extra help. We've been investing to support people in targeted ways who were among the most vulnerable across the country. This is a measure that recognizes that everyone has been facing the pinch. And that's why all Canadians get a tax break for the 2 months from mid-December to mid-February. This is a time where, yes, people are buying toys for their kids, so we're moving forward on a tax break on toys. But regardless of whether or not you celebrate Christmas, people gather for the holidays with family. So restaurants, takeout, prepared food and groceries, all grocery stores. No GST, HST. Moving forward on kids' clothes, including kids' winter clothes, boots, shoes. These are things that people care about that matter for them. And seeing that Canadians have been squeezed and being able to do something direct for them on top of the many measures we've put forward is about recognizing that we are now in a better place in our economy. And it's time for people to get a bit of a break to be able to enjoy that.
First of all, I don't even know why that was set up in the kitchen, but let me get into my thoughts here. So, on the surface, it seems like this is a much needed break for Canadians who've been struggling with affordability for a long time, you would think. But just take a few steps back here and think through this. These announcements come just a few months before the Canadian elections. You would think that's coincidence, right? But that's hardly coincidence, my friend. It is straight out of the third world playbook. And I'll give you 2 important points about this announcement. Just hang in there for a moment. I come from a developing nation, or you can say third world. Election periods are marked by last-minute projects completion and giveaways and populist stunts in the society. Leaders would hang out bags of rice, cooking oil, or cash in some cases. They will complete urgent projects just as elections approach. I grew up in a system like this, and I can tell you for sure it's not about the people. It's about manipulating public perceptions. They bank on the followers' ineptitude, in this case, the inability of voters to appraise meaningful and honest leadership. Trudeau's tax cuts and $250 paychecks follow the same pattern, in my opinion. It's a distraction, a band-aid solution over a massive wound in Canada's housing, in healthcare, in affordability crisis going on right now in the nation. It's not a solution. It's a tactic. And don't take my word for it, guys. Ask your first-generation immigrant friends around you. Ask people from anywhere in Africa, first-generation immigrants from Nigeria, from Ghana, all the way to South Africa, or even in the East, in Kenya or in Tanzania. Ask the people around you. But Canadians have become far removed from the world of totalitarian dictators from around the world who makes the people susceptible to the gimmicks of leadership. Now, here's my second point. My second point is a biblical parallel of Esau selling his birthright. It's Esau's story in the Bible. Esau was hungry. He was desperate. and willing to trade his birthright for a bowl of porridge. Now think about that for a moment. In a moment of hunger, Esau gave up something priceless. He gave up his inheritance, his future, for immediate satisfaction. Now, I'm not saying that $250 check is worth a bowl of porridge. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm saying the principle is actually the same. Canadians are being asked to overlook the failures of leadership, to forget about years of mismanagement of immigration, of manufacturing, of housing, of favoritism and for lobbyists and close associates, but to accept a short-term relief as though it makes up for long-term damage that is done to the people. Here's the problem. Once you give up your birthright, once you give up your demand for good governance and accountability in this case, it's almost impossible to get it back. These handouts, it may seem helpful in the moment, may even seem like, oh, it's your own share of the national cake and you better have it. But they are no substitute for real solutions to the housing crisis facing the nation, to skyrocketing rents or healthcare backlogs, invasion through immigration, the numbers tripling at food banks right now, and many, many more problems we can talk about. Ask yourselves, Canadians, ask yourself this question. Would you really sell your birthright for a check and a GST cut? This is what this is about. It is fundamental human rights to even think about it too. Your conscience, your worth, is it not worth more than $250 on the altar of political tactics like this? Let me send a warning to Canada here. This is bigger than checks or tax cuts. It's not about that. How about carbon tax cuts that people have talked about for a very long time? How about income tax cuts? How about reducing the size of federal bureaucracy in this case? But it's not the plan. It's about the kind of leadership in this case that you will accept. Are you okay with leaders who show up only when elections approach? Leaders who treat Canadians like Esau, banking on your struggles to make you forget your failures. When leaders feel like they don't have to govern well, they just have to wait until the election period to throw out some crumbs at the people. And we've seen this before. We've actually seen it before. In 2021, Trudeau promised a bold climate action just before the elections too. Promised affordable housing and many more. You should ask yourself, where are those promises right now? Instead, you're being given short-term fixes that are designed to secure votes, not to solve the problems. Let me be clear here. A $250 check and a temporary GST cut won't fix Canada's problems. No, it won't. They won't suddenly make rent more affordable. They won't build homes that are needed in the nation right now, or reduce grocery bills in the longer run for people. Canada, listen up. Listen. Don't let this become your birthright moment. Canada deserves better. Canada deserves a leader who governs with integrity all year round, not one that comes around when the polls are closing in. That's what the nation deserves. That's what you deserve as an individual. You don't deserve to sell your birthright on the altar of political gimmicks like this, because it's nothing more than a political gimmick in my opinion. But don't take my word for it. Ask the people around you. Seek within your own heart and your conscience about this as well. Try to make a decision that will make for your individual flourishing and even the greater good of the society. I think that's very important as we approach the elections, even as we approach the festive seasons, more than a politician coming around to come give you crumbs for a bribe. But I want to know what you think about this in the comment section. This is actually really a sad thing for me to respond to this time, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And I'll see you very soon. Don't forget to subscribe as well and give the video a thumbs up. That will be really helpful for me to keep doing this kind of things and producing this kind of content. I'll see you shortly. Take care. Bye-bye. The analytics on this channel show about 95% of the viewers on the channel haven't subscribed yet. So you do me a favor by clicking the subscribe button right now. Then I'll keep my promise to continually improve on the quality of the conversations that are produced on this channel every time.